Good morning everyone. You can only wear what you have. I'm not the one that's materialistic, it's them. And that's the irony. The joke is on people who say that. Most of them will usually be Christians. They go to church, they have conventions, they have revival program, they fast, they even give tithe and offering, whatever they call that stuff. And all of it is so that they can have more. They have one house, they want to have three. They are materialistic. They have one wife, they want to have two. I'm just joking. They want another wife. They want more. Those are the people that are materialistic. You can't be chasing after what you already have. So I have what they are looking for. So I'm not chasing it. Wherever your treasure is, that is where your heart will be. Some say, well, what about those of us who don't go to church? You put 12, 13 hours into work every week, sometimes every day. You're looking for the material things of this world. That's what you're looking for. So hypocrisy is a sin by itself, but sometimes ignorance is a worse sin. For me, if I wear an LV, I wear whatever, it's just because basically that's what I've got. So I'm not going to look at the wardrobe and think, what is Mrs. Nobody going to feel on the internet today? Let me not wear this, let me wear that. Life simply don't have to, and we're not, for me at least, we're not work that way. So I'm not materialistic. I just put on what I'm given and what God gives me, and I put it on with joy and divine pride, if there's any word like that. The Bible says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, I believe verse 8, that Jesus will destroy the lawless one with the breath of his mouth and the splendor of his coming. So he has splendor. You Google the word splendor or look for a dictionary. Materialistic. Have you seen these guys on their wedding day or when their kids are getting married? You see them put on all the things, sometimes what they don't have. And if I rejoice every day, I'm materialistic and they are cool. No, they put on makeup, they wear chain, they look big, they look splendid on their birthdays and stuff. It's hypocrisy. It doesn't work here. Of course, when and it's a state of giving up. For example, you have London City, for example. I can speak of my constituency. You have a generational church that has failed the city woefully. But you have people who want to be the top church in town, even though they can't define it. And you obviously know that God is not giving them that. So they abuse what they see, and it's only almost safe for them to point to a Spark Nation or point to another church and say, they do this, they do that. We can't do that, that's why we are this and that. No, it's a failed movement, church in London City. And that's the truth, and I mean no harm with that. Truth is truth, you know. And then people generally, when they feel like they can't reach a thing, they begin to fight it. So we have to be conscious of psychological human behavior, that it attacks naturally what it doesn't understand or what it feels it can't reach. Then you have the exceptional humans, the ones who just love what they can't reach because they understand that whatever you respect and love and honor, you will attract. And so the greatest division, again, because I'm a pastor, is the church, because those ones believe that they know the Bible. So what they do is they point fingers. Everything is bad. This is this, this is that. Then you look at those pastors and the people they lead, and they have worms covered up so badly. And that's why God is refusing to use them to be impactful in the city. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's You have people, leaders or Christian leaders, who teach such doctrine, but then they teach or live such doctrine, but then they send their children to private schools. And you wonder, or private or good schools, which is fine. Then you wonder, were you paying with Bible verses? How? Because there are public schools where people's kids go to empower the public arena. Why are your kids in private school? You've got good cars, you hide it and drive the lesser ones so that people cannot criticize you. But you're living right. Why should you be afraid? And so they give those the minor, they speak those things in order to protect themselves. And some people are quite gullible, especially in the religious world, because the religious world is the place where you don't ask questions. So you can't leave that and mislead others. And anyway, long story short, our leaders are in bondage because they are afraid of the people. I will not fold. I don't need a friend. I already have sons and daughters. It is not, so that this is your friend, this is the one that calls you brother or friend on the internet. What for? We're blessed with people. So because of that, and then not just that, I don't have the kind of ambition they have. So those who cut people try to look in a certain way. They're looking for votes or accolade. No, Yahweh has blessed us more than that, so that we can be free. Everything is open. If you want people to prosper, it's a simple, common sense approach. It's very simple. That means you just don't go to the altar and tell people if you give or if you pray, you'll be blessed. Prayer can't bring money. It's incapable of bringing money. It can teach you, God can lead you to how, but it can't bring money. Laws work. It is laws. Everything in this world is set on laws. Everything that is spiritual is set on laws. If someone is going through depression, it's because the law of depression has been set into place. The Bible talks about the law of life in Christ. It's a law. Gravity is a law. Then the Wright brothers came and some other people came and they challenged the law of gravity, and they overcame the law of gravity by the law of speed. So once the aircraft, the Boeing 747, as heavy as it is, once it hits 160 miles per hour, it has to lift, defying the law of gravity. So, and once you lift, you'll be looking at gravity down there. To answer your question, how do we all become rich and prosperous together? You set certain laws into motion. The law of community building, the law of openness. Once it is not, because the kind of Pentecostalism that we met is a thank God somewhere, that's the leader of the church, then other people are congregants. I don't, because pastors already say, I swear, I wanted to say, you can't teach me with your mouth what to say with mine. Don't be silly. But I was for this morning, Sunday morning, Sabbath day, so to speak. You can't be a thank God separate from the people. If they have access to see your life and how you make money or how you make finances, they will replicate the same. They will do the same and everybody will prosper together. It is the law of community building, and it has its own hazards. The trusting people and all that. It has its own downfalls, but that's normal to anything in life. You activate some laws, you get some results. You don't activate those laws, you can be praying and fasting and doing all the false things that we were brought up to do in church. It's still not going to work. Oh, that's quite simple. Number one, first thing first, to use wealth to impact is inspire first. It's inspiration. It is not helping people by giving them money. How many people can you give money? And we've given a lot of people money. Oh, this year we've done more than 1 million giving, you know. So, but it is to inspire the young guy sitting in the corner in a village or a city in Africa, in Ghana, in Colombia, in Paris, is watching you. He may not be talking on social media, it may not be, but he's inspired. Every beautiful things inspire people. Forget those who come online and start hating and stuff. Most of their hatred and bitterness and talk is hereditary. It's the way their family settings are. Those who love, most of it is hereditary. You know, so how do you use that to help a community? You inspire a community first. These days, everybody is hiding. When you have wealth or you're blessed or successful, you'll hide. Let me repeat again. I will not fold. I will not let people tell me how to live, what to show, what not to show. You understand? Because whilst we live our normal life, we don't wake up and say, let's go show off today. No, things have just changed. When you drive out, when you do your things, unlike before, there is more cameras around now. I'm not gonna hide, you know, and I understand the city I live in. I don't understand the world is bitter against success, but in order to inspire a generation in order to help a generation, you must inspire them first. They must want to be something. Pastors' kids, ask those pastors talking, running their mouth sometimes. Imagine a older man running their mouth about a younger man. Number one, in African culture, it's demeaning, but that's not my issue today. Their sons don't want to be pastors. Pastors' kids don't want to be pastors on most occasions. And have you ever wondered why, sir? You don't inspire them. They respect you, but you don't inspire them. Guess who inspires them? A billionaire on Forbes list, a rapper, whatever else. So we've got to change that narrative, and that's why God raised some of us. Obviously, I don't rap. Obviously, I don't have their number of followers. People like music, they like, you know. But if you, what makes us more lasting and impactful is the message. Rapper is good, they try their best, they work hard. Artists are good, they try their best, but they don't come with a message for a generation. It's not a message, it's a thing. They come, they go, another boxer comes, another rapper comes. Times and seasons make them pass away. We're not just preaching a message, we've lived it. We've raised young people, and that's why I keep saying that it will be disrespectful to God for me to seek public opinion and want to live in the euphoria of their accolades, even though we have many. Follow me to the street, you'll see. But it will be disrespectful to God. Why is that? Because He's blessed me with so many people, forthright and focused. We've chosen a path. We know where we're going, and we know the people that we need in order to get to where we're going. But I must add this. Both those who say materialistic or usually Christians hallucinate a lot. That's why they see angels. But, you know, but those who say that and whatever else, what are you willing to give? And you should check your pastor's life. If souls are not coming to the altar, you guys are trading souls in church. You know, in Africa, people move from church to church. It's not new souls. It's not a generation that is being reaped for the kingdom. For me, I'm clear about what Paul said. To gain the Jews, I became a Jew. To gain the Gentiles, I became a Gentile. That if by some means I can win some. So if I'm going to win people from the dreary world, I've got to become that. Pastors lock themselves up in churches and they are preaching at the same people, year in, year out, shouting. Sometimes they even say, oh, the anointing has come, everybody starts shaking. But the nation don't care. I can't do that. I'm sorry. It's for me, it's a waste of time. It's just like kids' garden play. It's just like playing church stuff. Tired of that. So to gain the word, will look like the word, will be able to connect with them, but we will maintain contact without contamination. That's who we are. And I think both questions are related, and maybe I want to speak to someone at this point. If your heart has chosen a focus, stay at it. If you're able to size that focus up and see, is it impactful? Is it changing the life of one person? Because most times we are after the 1 million people and we forget the one person. It's that one person that becomes 2, that becomes 2 million. And so how I've been able to maintain focus, I don't keep friends. If I keep friends, it has to be transactional. There has to be a transaction going, not a friend telling me I defended you somewhere, someone said something about you. I don't care. People, we've got to a stage now that we can say, look, I'm not defending anything. You believe what you want. It's not, and that's not being rude. That's being factual and being focused. Because when you have 2 people say this spark is this, you have 200 saying it's great. So what side do you lean to? So I don't need friends defending me. I don't need someone speaking good or bad about it. I just need to maintain my own focus, knowing in my gut, in my heart, and seeing the number of lives that are being changed, the number of stories of transformation, and knowing that we live in a world where people talk out of many motives. You can be successful in a business, and 10 people that are not successful in their own businesses, they are not resting. They need to convince their staff, their wife, their kids why they are not successful. So how do you see something through to the end? And this is me speaking to you now. Remain focused on what is important. If people need you, they'll call you. To try to impress them in order to call you, politicians do that. There's a difference between politician and kingdom people. In kingdom, it is law. They'll call you. Politicians, you finesse the people till they believe you are what you're not. Then you slap them with what you are. No, kingdom is a messenger sent. And the messenger sent, keep focus. Realize that either it's business or the pulpit, you're sent to do something. Don't keep friends. Friendships that is not God created don't last. When we first got into God stuff, and they'll tell you about Father in the Lord, Mother, all those stuff, which becomes a money-making scheme for some people. And then, of course, you should have leaders and mentors, but then again, you realize at some point, depending on where you have to go, there are some fathers that can't take that. So your focus at the end of the day and your vision is yours. It is yours. And God is not going to be explaining it to people around you to convince them that you're on the right path. You will have to keep walking until some of them join you or some of them vanish away from your life. So it is focus so that when you see it through to the end, you can teach them, not get angry with them. You can teach them how this and that is done. If you don't have that focus, people will waste your life because people want you to be what they see you as. People create you. Pastor Tobi should imagine the pastor sits down, or even people on the internet. You're sitting there saying this is what I should do or not do. In what world? How does that make any sense? You can't. It doesn't just work that way. They are flamboyant, they are this. So I should be you. In other words, what about you becoming me? Is there anything wrong in that? They are flamboyant, they are this. Yeah, you're cool. How about you becoming this? And you say, no. The same way I'm saying, no, to what you've become. Just choose your own focus, walk your lane, Don't keep too much friends, because that will distract you. And when their opinion change, you'll be down. You'll feel, oh, my friend did this to me. No, just know everything in life is transactional. So that when people come, when people go, you're focused to where you're going. Simple.